Saint Catherine of Siena. Some basic information about her is that she was born on March 25, 1347, and she died on April 29, 1380. Her original name is Katharina Benincasa. She was canonized in Rome in the year 1461. Her feast day is on April 29th, and she was declared the Doctor of the Church and the patron saint of Europe in 1999. Saint Catherine's early life. She was the 25th child born to her mother, although half of her brothers and sisters did not survive childhood. Catherine herself was a twin, but her sister did not survive infancy. At the age of 16, Catherine's sister died, leaving her husband as a widower. Catherine's parents proposed that he marry Catherine as a replacement, but Catherine opposed to this. She began fasting and cut her hair short to mar her appearance. Her parents attempted to resist this move to avoid marriage, but they were unsuccessful. Her fasting and her devotion to her family convinced them to relent and allow her to live as she pleased. Her journey. She did not choose to enter a convent. Instead, she joined the Third Order of St. Dominic, which allowed her to associate with a religious society while living at home. Fellow sisters taught St. Catherine how to read. Meanwhile, she lived quietly, isolated within her family home. St. Catherine developed a habit of giving things away, and she continuously gave away her family's food and clothing to people in need. She never asked permission to give these things away, and she quietly put up with their criticisms. Something changed her when she was 21. She described an experience she referred to as the mystical marriage to Christ. There are debates over whether or not St. Catherine has given a ring, with some claiming she was given a bejeweled ring and others claiming the ring was made of Jesus' skin. St. Catherine herself started the rumor of the latter in writings, but she was known to often claim the ring itself was invisible. What she was called to do. In her vision, she was told to re-enter public life to help the poor and sick. She immediately rejoined her family and went into public to help people in need. She often visited hospitals and homes where the poor and sick were found. Her activities quickly attracted followers who helped her in the mission to serve the poor and sick. St. Catherine was drawn further into the world as she worked, and eventually she began to travel, calling to reform of the church and for people to confess and to love God totally. On one occasion, she visited a condemned political prisoner, and she was credited with saving his soul, which she saw being taken up to heaven at the moment of his death. From 1375 onwards, St. Catherine began dictating letters to scribes. She became involved in her factious politics of her time. She also established a monastery for women in 1377 outside of Siena. She was credited with composing over 400 letters, her dialogue, which her definitive work, and her prayers. These works are so influential that St. Catherine would later be declared a Doctor of the Church. She is one of the most influential and popular saints in the Church. By 1380, St. Catherine had become ill because of her habits of extreme fasting. In January of 1380, she wasn't able to even eat or drink. She died on April 29th following a stroke just a week prior. She is the patroness against fire, illness, the United States, Italy, miscarriages, people ridiculed for their faith, sexual temptations, and nurses. St. Catherine of Siena, through her presence, her love, her service, and humility, brought so much light and so much love to this beautiful planet of ours. And now a quote from St. Catherine of Siena. Their love is eternal, it transcends time and space, and brings healing to those souls who are longing for light, for love, for truth, and for peace.